In the video where I talk about my experience going through an ego death, I mentioned that I spent years rebuilding my identity. Apparently, many people resonated with my story and were going through it themselves, and so I got questions about how I rebuilt my identity. Now, if you haven't watched the video Ego Death, let me catch you up. For me, my ego death was gradual. For the first few years, I felt like just a pair of eyes floating in space, observing the world but not having much opinions about it. The most fundamental belief I had about myself fell away. Beliefs such as my gender, my ethnicity, my age, not to mention more shallower beliefs such as ones about God, religion, truth, and etc. It was as if I broke character in the middle of a play and suddenly found myself very aware of the person behind playing this facade. After about 5 years or so, I spent the next several years trying to rebuild my identity. So how did I do that? Well, for me, at least, it was a long process and there wasn't a neat 1, 2, 3 step. At the time, I didn't know what my personality was. It felt like I didn't have a personality, like I was just a blank. And it felt like I could just make up a personality and pretend to be that person. I remember observing people and their personalities and wondering if they really were like the way they were or if they were like me and was just faking it. I couldn't believe that these people actually believed they were like that. Anyway, I did a lot of observing. I remember one time a group of friends and I were playing Monopoly, and I noticed how people in the group were helping this girl by giving her their Monopoly money to keep her in the game. It seemed like other people really liked her because she had a light, bubbly personality. So, after that experience, I tried acting like her. But of course, it didn't work out. But in this way, I did try on different personalities. I tried being a talkative person. I tried being a bold person, an independent person, a studious, brainy person, business-minded person, and on and on. Slowly, I started to understand what feels natural for me. To this day, personalities fascinates me, how fluid it is, how different combinations of personalities can exude out a unique energy frequency, how it changes as we age and go through life, but how it never changes drastically because it's tied to our DNA. Besides personalities, I focused on figuring out what I liked and disliked. Now that I think about it, I think this is the part that helped the most. During my ego death, I didn't have preferences. I remember this one time my brother and I went out to get lunch and he asked me what I wanted. It was a confusing question for me because, what do you mean want? Do people want stuff? What does that emotion of wanting feel like? How do you determine if you want something or not? I know it sounds completely ridiculous now that I'm saying it, but that's the state I was in. Anyway, because the whole question was confusing, I told him to choose. I couldn't even say if food tasted good or not. I mean, I could tell you that it's salty, savory, or sweet, but I couldn't tell you if I preferred one over the other. So naturally, I would have the other person choose, and I'd eat what they ate. But that particular time, my brother said, "You never say what you like." And I replied, "That's because I don't know what I like." And then he said something that stayed with me to this day. "You don't know what you like because you never say it." In that short statement, he had said something extremely profound. In order to solidify my preferences, I needed to declare it and declare it out loud. Our words solidify and ground fleeting feelings and thoughts. By declaring something outwardly, it makes it so. And this made much more sense when in my first meditation, I asked, "What am I? What is the essence that is me?" And the answer came back as, "You are pure will." Because we are pure will, whatever we speak becomes a reality. Whatever we declare becomes a reality. There's a lot of power in our words. Literally, there is a lot of power in our words. In this way, we co-create. So after that day, I made it a point to comment on my food. For example, if I ate something that had sauce in it and I didn't hate it, I would say, I like this sauce. Did I really like the sauce? Maybe or maybe not. Who knows? But because I said I liked it, I really did start liking it. I started doing that with other things too. I would make it a point to say out loud what I liked and disliked and commenting on them. By doing this, I was declaring who I am, that I am a person who likes this and that. And so in this way, I slowly started rebuilding my identity. Even now, I feel somewhat removed from my ego. It feels not as personal, like there is space in between the ego and my true essence. And I can return my focus back to the essence that is me, that observing pair of eyes, and let the outside of me fall away. And of course, there are good and bad to this. I'm going to end this video here. Please let me know if you've gone through an ego death. And if so, how did you start rebuilding back your identity? What helped you? Until next time, regards, Ray.